What happens when loyalty becomes a liability? When the women's world champion decides that her most powerful ally has become her greatest threat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to WWE Sphere, where we break down the biggest moments in sports entertainment. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most shocking betrayals in recent WWE history, the moment Liv Morgan severed ties with Raquel Rodriguez and kicked her out of Judgment Day. And trust me, the reason behind this decision is far more calculated than you might think. But before we get into the breakdown, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our latest WWE analysis. Let's get into it. Judgment Day has been one of the most dominant factions in WWE over the past couple of years. We've seen this group evolve, transform, and create some of the most memorable moments in recent memory. From Rhea Ripley's dominance to Damian Priest's championship reign, this faction has left an indelible mark on WWE programming. But when Liv Morgan infiltrated Judgment Day, everything changed. This wasn't just about joining a group, this was about strategy, manipulation, and playing the long game. Liv didn't just want to be part of Judgment Day, she wanted to control it, reshape it, and use it to secure her position at the top of the women's division. Enter Raquel Rodriguez, Liv's longtime friend, her tag team partner, and someone who had her back through thick and thin. When Liv brought Raquel into the fold, it seemed like the perfect alliance. Two powerhouse women, united under the Judgment Day banner, ready to dominate the entire women's division. But as we've learned time and time again in professional wrestling, alliances built on manipulation rarely stand the test of time. Let's rewind and look at how this partnership even came to be. Liv Morgan's journey to Judgment Day was anything but conventional. After her rivalry with Rhea Ripley reached its boiling point, Liv found an opportunity that most people didn't see coming. With Rhea sidelined due to injury, Liv saw a power vacuum, and she was determined to fill it. But Liv is smart, possibly one of the most intelligent strategists we've seen in the women's division in years. She knew that infiltrating Judgment Day wouldn't be easy, and she couldn't do it alone. She needed muscle. She needed someone loyal. She needed Raquel Rodriguez. Raquel, standing at an imposing stature and possessing incredible strength, was the perfect piece to Liv's puzzle. Together, they presented a formidable duo, Liv with her cunning and championship prowess, and Raquel with her raw power and intimidation factor. For a time, it worked perfectly. They complemented each other's strengths. Liv had the brains, Raquel had the brawn, and together they seemed unstoppable. Raquel helped Liv retain her Women's World Championship on multiple occasions, standing as the enforcer while Liv pulled the strings from behind the scenes. But here's where things get interesting, and here's where we start to see Liv's true nature come to light. Professional wrestling has taught us that every champion has insecurities. Every person at the top is constantly looking over their shoulder, wondering who's coming for their spot. And Liv Morgan, despite her confidence in her championship reign, was no different. As the weeks progressed, subtle changes began to appear in their dynamic. Raquel wasn't just the muscle anymore, she was getting her own moments to shine. The WWE Universe began to take notice of Raquel Rodriguez not just as Liv's enforcer, but as a legitimate threat in her own right. And that's when the paranoia set in. Think about it from Liv's perspective. She orchestrated this entire plan. She manipulated her way into Judgment Day. She positioned herself as the women's world champion. Everything was going according to her design. But now, the very person she brought in to help secure her position was becoming popular, was gaining momentum, and worst of all, was starting to look like championship material herself. In Liv's mind, Raquel was no longer just an ally. She was becoming competition. She was becoming a threat. And in the cutthroat world of WWE, threats must be eliminated. So what's the real reason Liv Morgan kicked Raquel Rodriguez out of Judgment Day? It all comes down to three critical factors: control, championship security, and self-preservation. Liv Morgan didn't join Judgment Day to be part of a team. She joined to be in charge. Every decision she made was about consolidating power and establishing herself as the leader of the faction. But as Raquel grew more confident and more prominent, that control began to slip. Raquel wasn't just following orders anymore, she was making her own impact, creating her own identity within the group. For someone like Liv, who thrives on manipulation and control, this was unacceptable. Let's be brutally honest here, Raquel Rodriguez is a former women's tag team champion and a legitimate main event talent. She has everything needed to be a world champion: the look, the power, the credibility with the audience. Liv knew that if Raquel remained in Judgment Day and continued to build momentum, it was only a matter of time before the WWE Universe would demand a championship opportunity for her. And who would be standing in the way? Liv Morgan herself. By removing Raquel from the equation, Liv eliminated a potential challenger before she could become a real problem. Third, self-preservation. This might be the most important factor of all. Liv has proven time and time again that she will do whatever it takes to stay on top. She turned on Rhea Ripley, she manipulated Dominic Mysterio, and she has consistently put herself first above all else. Keeping Raquel around was a risk that she could be betrayed, that she could be overthrown, or that she could lose the spotlight. In Liv's calculated mind, it was better to strike first than to wait and become a victim. The truth is, Liv Morgan kicked Raquel Rodriguez out of Judgment Day because Raquel had served her purpose and was now becoming more valuable as an enemy than as an ally. Now, let's talk about what this means for both superstars moving forward. For Liv Morgan, this decision reinforces her character as a ruthless, self-serving champion who will sacrifice anyone and everyone to maintain her position. It adds layers to her heel persona and gives her credibility as someone who truly believes she's the center of the women's division. However, it also paints a target on her back. By betraying Raquel, she's created a powerful enemy, someone who knows all her secrets, all her strategies, and who has a very legitimate reason to seek revenge. For Raquel Rodriguez, this betrayal could be the best thing that ever happened to her career. Sometimes in professional wrestling, being kicked out of a faction is the catalyst for a major singles push. The audience naturally sympathizes with the person who's been wronged, and Raquel now has the perfect storyline to propel her into the main event scene. She has the motivation, she has the momentum, and most importantly, she has the justification to pursue the Women's World Championship. The WWE Universe has already shown their support for Raquel, and this betrayal only strengthens that connection. Fans love an underdog story, and they love seeing someone get redemption after being stabbed in the back. So where do we go from here? The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this storyline so compelling. We could see Raquel Rodriguez on a path of destruction, systematically dismantling everything Liv Morgan has built. We could see her work her way through the women's division, proving that she doesn't need Judgment Day to be successful. And eventually, we could see that inevitable championship showdown, former allies, now bitter enemies, fighting for the Women's World Championship. There's also the question of Judgment Day itself. With Raquel gone, who will fill that void? Will Liv bring in someone new, or will she try to maintain control on her own? And what about the male members of the faction, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough? How do they feel about Liv's decision to remove Raquel? These questions create intrigue, and intrigue keeps us invested as fans. That's the beauty of professional wrestling storytelling. One decision can create months of compelling television. At the end of the day, Liv Morgan kicked Raquel Rodriguez out of Judgment Day for the most primal reason in all of sports entertainment: survival. She saw a threat to her championship, her control, and her position at the top of the women's division, and she eliminated it before it could eliminate her. But in doing so, she may have created her greatest challenger yet. Raquel Rodriguez isn't someone who will quietly fade away. She's a powerhouse with a chip on her shoulder and a vendetta to settle. And when these two finally collide in what will surely be an epic confrontation, it's going to be must-see television. What do you think, WWE Sphere family? Was Liv justified in her decision, or did she make a critical mistake? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell for more WWE breakdowns and analysis. I'm WWE Sphere, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, keep watching, keep analyzing, and keep celebrating the greatest form of entertainment on the planet: professional wrestling.